Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. It's a pleasure to be here. Still flying a little bit solo here behind the scenes as Oz is still recuperating and recovering. She's much better, but still not completely back to normal. So anyway, good to be here. Thanks for joining us. Email Todd at ToddHuffShow.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Well, not Instagram. We're on Instagram, but we don't stream there. YouTube, so long as these folks, of course, allow us to stream on their platforms, and it's a pleasure to be here this morning. So let's look at, we impeached, not you and I, but this nation impeached President Trump twice, right? Remember this? Again, Democrats always fishing for headlines, fishing for talking points, fishing for narratives. They want to be able to say that Trump's the only president in history that's been impeached twice. This is just, this guy was so terrible. Republicans were protecting this guy. We were on the verge of collapsing and turning into a socialistic regime. It's a miracle that we made it through those years. It's a miracle Trump didn't nuke North Korea on his way out of office. Remember, Nancy Pelosi wanted to take the codes from him and all these sorts of things. All that drama. The Dramacrats, again, perhaps my favorite term for describing these folks who oppose President Trump and the opposition party when they're not in power. Now they're the party in power, and they still govern by drama. They still legislate by drama. But if you want to know what a real, a real legitimate impeachable offense would look like, it's what we're seeing unfold again with Afghanistan and our president's complete, again, words fail me to describe just how pathetic and incompetent, or some people think deliberately. It doesn't matter, because what we need to measure are the results here. And these results are absolutely positively, unequivocally disastrous. We've gone through this a lot here the past few days, the past few weeks. Headline here, this is a Reuters story, exclusive: before Afghan collapse, Biden pressed Ghani, that's the president, of Afghanistan, get President Ghani to, quote, change perception. Here it is, Washington, August 31st, Reuters, in the last call between U.S. President Joe Biden and his Afghanistan counterpart before the Taliban seized control of the country. The leaders discussed military aid, political strategy, and messaging tactics, but neither Biden nor Ashraf Ghani appeared aware of or prepared for the immediate danger of the entire country falling to insurgents. A transcript reviewed by Reuters shows. The men spoke for roughly 14 minutes on July 23rd. On August 15th, Ghani fled the presidential palace and the Taliban entered Kabul. So this call was on July 23rd, a little over a month ago, about 5 weeks ago, which is an eternity, as we've learned, in the Biden administration. Here we are, we're 7.5 months in, and this dumpster fire is not just in Afghanistan, it's all across this nation as well. It is unbelievable the amount of damage these folks cause in a matter of months, 7.5 months. We have 3 children. They're a little bit older now, but I remember the days when you would count, how many weeks pregnant we were with our children. Full term is what, 9 months, 40 weeks. Biden hasn't even gone full term in that regard yet. the amount of damage that can be done. And if you think about it, I mean, you effectively, in roughly, I'm ballparking here. You go through five 40-month pregnancy terms in a 4-year presidency, 200 weeks roughly. Again, these are ballpark figures here. So we're 20%, not even 20%, probably closer to 15% of the way through this guy's first term. And yikes and wowzers. And this is just, I don't even want to know what tomorrow holds as far as it is, as far as what Biden and the Dramocrats can cause to happen here in this country. But the call was July 23rd, about 5 weeks ago. And then about 3 or so weeks later, on August 15th, Ghani fled, the presidential palace. And I guess you could say he fell from power. He's technically still the president, but he's not. I mean, this place is being run by the Taliban. So the story continues here. Since then, tens of thousands of desperate Afghans have fled, and 13 U.S. troops and scores of Afghan civilians were killed in a suicide bombing at the Kabul airport during the frenetic U.S. military evacuation. Reuters reviewed a transcript of the call of the presidential phone call and has listened to the audio to authenticate the conversation. The materials were provided on condition of anonymity by a source who was not authorized to distribute it. So this is something leaked from somebody in Team Biden in the White House somewhere there. In the call, Biden offered aid if Ghani could publicly project he had a plan to control the spiraling situation in Afghanistan. Quote, this is what Biden said: "We will continue to provide close air support if we know what the plan is," Biden said. Days before the call, the U.S. carried out airstrikes to support Afghan security forces, a move the Taliban said was in violation of the Doha peace agreement. The Taliban now citing the peace agreement is, ironic at best here. But anyway, the U.S. president also advised Ghani to get buy-in from powerful Afghans for a military strategy going forward, and then put a, quote, warrior in charge of the effort, a reference to Defense Minister General Bismillah Khan Mohammadi. Biden lauded the Afghan armed forces, which were trained and funded by the U.S. He said, quote, "You clearly have the best military. You have 300,000 well-armed forces versus the 70 to 80,000 you had previously." So again, sorry, my screen reset there. There it is. Versus the 70 to 80,000, and they're clearly capable of fighting well. Days later, the Afghan military started folding across the provincial capitals in the country with little fight against the Taliban. And much of the call, and I think this is where we want to settle here, and this is all that matters. I said this yesterday before I even saw this, and you know this. This is all that matters to Biden, to the Dramocrats, and to the radical left. This is all that matters. This is perception. Because it says here in much of the call, Biden focused on what he called the Afghan government's perception problem. This is another thing he said to President Ghani: I need not tell you the perception around the world and in parts of Afghanistan, I believe, is that things are not going well in terms of the fight against the Taliban. And there is a need, again, this is Biden talking to Ghani, there is a need, whether it is true or not, there is a need to project a different picture. Remember those words. There is a need to project a different picture. If you want to know what's being said behind closed doors in the Biden administration, it is this: there is a need to project a different picture. When we look at the Afghanistan debacle, when they have meetings in the Biden administration, they are saying to one another behind closed doors, there is a need to project a different picture. When Biden came out to the podium a couple of nights ago, a couple of afternoons ago, because bedtime apparently hits Biden's schedule quicker than it hit President Trump's. But when they were preparing for that speech, the speech writers and Biden, to whatever degree he actually has anything to say as far as shaping the messaging, which based upon how he talks at press conferences, which is, I'm not supposed to answer questions, they tell me not to do this and that, is probably next to zero, if not zero. But the message that was going on prior to his walking out to the podium to talk about Afghanistan on Tuesday, the message that they talked about behind closed doors was how much there was a need to project a different picture, a need to project a different picture. That is what these folks are focused on. Now, I want to pause because so this is where it gets to me. This is now we've circled it. Now we're at the meat of the issue, right? When you look at political theory, the role of government, the problems we have with different people in positions of authority, whether that be president or different legislators or whatever, governors, this is the number one focus, right? The need to project maybe not always a different picture, but a certain picture, a picture that is favorable to you, right? And your administration or your senator's office or your congressman's office, whatever. You want to be able to project a message or a picture that is favorable, because first and foremost, and this would go for virtually all politicians in power today. I'm not going to say 100%, but it's darn close to that number. In their minds, the first job that they have to accomplish is to get reelected. Now, to a certain extent, that is a practical. There's a practical aspect of that, right? Especially for a congressman who's constantly campaigning because they're just serving 2-year terms. I mean, we are halfway through, almost, not exactly, but halfway through this Congress. Not quite. I don't want to get your hopes too much up, but that's why everything right now is about projecting an image, projecting a picture, a different picture if you're the Democrats, because they see what's coming. They see what's over the horizon. They see a political shellacking that is materializing, that is coming together in November of 2022, which is about 14 months away. They can see it. They know it's coming. Historically, it's coming. With redistricting, it's coming. That's going to help Republicans. They think just redistricting alone, I think I read 6 or 8 seats just by the redistricting process will probably, somebody has projected, will change simply because of that. That's enough. I believe that's enough. I have to look. It's close to enough to flip power on its in and of itself. When you factor that the party in power is typically in a midterm election, is typically positioned to lose seats in the House, you can see that is another reason the Democrats are scared. When you look at the laws that are being passed in certain states that make voter fraud harder, even though they act like they don't, the real reason they tell you is because of voter suppression. Someone's vote is not being suppressed in this country. We've got early voting. If you want to vote in America, you can vote in America. In fact, I saw, did I not see in DeKalb County, I think Georgia, 70 or 78% of all ballots, early ballots, or I'm looking here for the headline. A huge number of ballots did not go through the proper chain of custody. I mean, almost all of them. I think it was 78%. Right now, I don't see that pulled up. I thought I had it in our stack here of stuff. I know I read it. Anyway, we'll pull that up and I'll share that specifically with you. But when you factor these things in, and you factor in that they're trying to clean up some of the mess that we had in elections, you look at typical midterm elections and you see that the party in power loses seats. When you factor in redistricting, something that happens every 10 years, there will be new districts for the next election in 2022. And what's going to be just the result of that? Again, someone has projected that I think it's 6 or 8 seats will, just based upon that, will go Republican. So they know what's happening here, and so they are trying to change or project a different picture, because the real picture is disastrous. The real picture is a dumpster fire created by, there's a difference between something happening that you didn't necessarily contribute to or that you're directly responsible for. Bad things happen during anybody's presidency. No president's in charge of everything that happens in America or in the world. But there are certainly things that happen at times that are the direct result of a particular leader's, in this case president's, action or lack of action or miscalculation or just complete mismanagement, whatever you want to call it. And that is what we see all across the horizon, from illegal immigration to labor shortages to, incredibly massive spending bills, to what happened in Afghanistan, to fill in the blank. Inflation at highs for the past, decade or so, 12 years, I think, 12-year high maybe. This is the responsibility. These things are happening all as a direct result of policies and decisions and actions implemented by Team Biden. That's why they want to project a different picture. Just like Biden told Ghani in Afghanistan, hey, your job is to project a different picture. And I want to talk about that today, because there's a difference between a leader reframing something correctly and a leader or a politician trying to get you to believe something that isn't true just because it benefits that particular person, his administration, what have you. Talking about that here, playing a soundbite from Jen Psaki as well. We'll do those things as the program unfolds. Sit tight, back here in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Ward's Apparel, Edwards Equipment, and Indiana Wooded Paradise Retreat by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Our word can't be diluted, because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Let's face it, moving is stressful. That's why Jones Movers, a family-owned business for over 40 years, is here to help. Our team is ready to help and respond quickly to your questions. We can handle local and out-of-state moves, which means we can move your items to wherever your pin drops on the map. We also offer self-storage units for furniture and items you need a place for. Go to jonesmovers.com to get things moving today, or visit our Facebook page, Jones Movers.
Unhappy with your CPAP machine? Now you have an alternative. The docs at Indy Dental Sleep have an oral appliance that treats snoring and sleep apnea. They begin with an in-home sleep test that is diagnosed by a sleep physician before prescribing your appliance. And it's covered by most medical insurance plans. It's preferred 20-1 versus CPAP. Call 317-888-4036 and start getting the sleep you need. Or visit IndyDentalSleep.com.
Quality glass windows and doors add value to your home or commercial space. At White's Innovative Glass, our family-owned and operated company will work with you to ensure we understand your vision before we begin. And if you don't have a vision, we can help with that too. We proudly stand behind our work and look forward to your call. Right now, we're offering 15% off your next project. Visit our website at whitesinnovativeglass.com/Todd.
You're busy. At Citizens Bank, we know your time is precious. That's why we're bringing a full-service branch to Stones Crossing for all your home, commercial, and personal banking needs. Looking to open an account, get assistance from your mortgage and commercial lenders, or just make all banking transactions right from your car? We can make it easy for you. Visit our new branch at 1767 West Stones Crossing Road. Citizens Bank. More bank for your buck.
Has it been a while since your last eye checkup? Has your eyesight changed? At Best Insight Eye Care, they keep an eye on your vision. Their doctors use the most advanced technology and eye care products available. At Best Insight, you will find professionals who genuinely care about you and are dedicated to providing exceptional service. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase. Schedule your appointment at the Southeast Side, Indianapolis, or New Palestine locations by visiting bestinsighteyecare.com or calling 317-782-4000 to get the best insight.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Welcome back. By the way, program is brought to you in part by our friends at Midwest Tax Group. Midwest Tax Group. I know that some of you may have filed tax extensions. If you have a business, those taxes are due, I believe, here the 15th of this month. Maybe you had to file for a personal extension as well. That's in October, I believe. I'm not even 100% sure on that with the way that they've changed the with COVID, tax dates were changed for individuals. They didn't do it for businesses, but they did do it, as I understand, for individuals. Anyway, if you need help with that stuff, if you need some, you're looking for an accountant, I've worked with Midwest Tax Group for a good while now. MWTaxGroup.com. I've worked with them. I'm pausing here. I think I've worked with them. It might be 10 or 12 years now. MW, standing for Midwest, MWTaxGroup.com. Jody and his team will take care of you. They've got offices all around central Indiana, and they can meet with you in those locations. MWTaxGroup.com, or call them 317-288-5260. Be sure to tell them you heard about them here on the Todd Huff Show. So before the break, we were talking a little bit about the difference. Excuse me really quickly here. All right, had to readjust the microphone. I swing it out of the way during commercial breaks, and when I swung it back here, when we got back, I didn't have it at the desired height, so now it's right where it needs to be. perfectly placed, just like Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan, down to the minute, my friends. Just remarkable stuff. But we were talking about leadership versus being a politician. And folks, those things are not synonymous. See, a leader says, here's a problem. We have a problem in Afghanistan. We have a problem on the southern border. We have a problem with inflation, whatever it is, whatever the problem is. And then they say, this is the course of action that we need to take. Even if it's not popular. And they try to communicate that to the American people. They try to make the case for their position, what they think needs to be done. This is what leaders do. Of course, they listen to people. They take advice before they determine what course of action needs to be taken. And then they make their case. Then they, if you will, go out and try to sell what they're the steps that need to be taken from their perspective. They may be wrong. They may be partially right. They may be completely right. And so this is the job of a leader. And so there might be a time, especially I think back to during Trump's time in office, and I think Trump did this. I think Trump did this quite well. I think Trump did what he thought was right, or tried to do what he thought was right. I also think that Trump absolutely wanted to spin it in his favor. But then again, if what you're doing is, in your mind, truly the best thing, then that changes the meaning of the words. What were the words that I kept saying here? Project a different. What did Biden say here to Ghani? You need to make sure that you project a different picture. So you might need to try to move the narrative. You might need to say, this is not the correct way of looking at it. And then from a position of arguing for truth, arguing at least what you believe is the truth, readjusting or projecting a different picture it just simply means, well, I think you could at that point better say, I'm trying to get you to see this for what it truly is. But that is not. Hear me out. And I think this is critically important to understanding politics. I think it is critically important to understanding the problems that we have and why they are so insidious in politics and in media and in culture, is because all they care about is how it looks. They don't really care about the truth. That's why, for example, we're going on the truth tour here as we take our message to different states around the country, different stations, going and speaking and whatever else we're going to be doing here, actually beginning in just a couple of weeks. So why I feel that is important, because we do want to project, I guess you could say project a different picture, but not to mislead. We want to project the message of truth. We want to project a message that's rooted in truth, that gets people to have maybe an aha moment or realize, my goodness, we've been so deceived and lied to. For the church to realize that we've been hoodwinked here into being silent on things that are quote-unquote political issues, because politics has taken over every aspect of our lives. For example, the Supreme Court, you may have seen, has basically allowed this Texas law to stand in a 5-4 vote that puts a tremendous amount of restrictions on on abortions that happen after six weeks. And that's a major victory for the pro-life movement. And those things are very, very important. And they don't get talked about enough because of all this other drama and nonsense that's happening, that's often being created by these politicians. But when Biden says you need to focus on projecting a different picture, it has nothing to do with truth. And I'm not picking on Biden here, but the context, maybe I am, I don't know. But it's not personal to me. These folks need to be exposed for who they are, and they need to be, Biden's been in office for half century, folks. Not president, but he's been in political power for virtually a half a century. Think about that, a half a century. This country is only 240 years old. He's been in a position of political power for almost 20% of this nation's, actually probably a little bit more, or right there, right at that number. 20% of this country's history. You gotta be kidding me. It's not necessary for that. That's not a healthy thing for a constitutional republic. And when he gets to the highest office, I guess in the land, right? The highest office of the land, what's he do? He throws gasoline on the whatever fires existed, and now we've got an out-of-control blaze dumpster fire. It's what we've got. It is inexcusable. And when he says to Ghani, and when he says to his own team, or when they have these discussions behind closed doors about his administration, and when they say we want to project a different picture of what's going on, they just want to project a picture that helps them. It doesn't matter what the truth is. It doesn't matter what's in the best interest of the United States of America. None of that matters first and foremost to these folks whose job in their minds is to get reelected, number one. And in order to get reelected, they've got to project a different picture than reality because of the dumpster fires they've created. So they create a different one. As long as it sticks, they don't care. They don't care if it's true. They don't care if it's based in reality. They don't care any of that. That's why they need a complicit media to go along with their nonsense and shenanigans to try to pull a fast one on the American people at every turn. But the media right now is saying, man, we can't even pretend for a moment that this isn't a disaster. And so here we are. The Dramocrats doing what they do, creating drama, creating bad political theater to try to change the narrative from what it really should be, which is the disaster of how things are in this country because of our politicians, the party in power. And this is not a pass given to the Republicans. There's plenty of blame to go there too, as far as I'm concerned. I'm kind of sick of politicians in general. I shouldn't say kind of. I'm absolutely fed up with politicians in general. There are some exceptions, but they are few. They are few. In fact, I just read a headline this morning that talked about Republicans are going to hold Biden accountable. Prove it. You know what? Prove it. Prove it. I mean, they're doing, in a lot of sense, the same thing. They want to hold this up and say, we're going to campaign on this, right? We're going to talk about how terrible this is, and it's at least it's true, but what are you going to do about it? Because candidly, I heard a lot about the Durham report. I've heard a lot about all sorts of things you've been going to do for a long time that you never have done. You've never done. And candidly, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, and I don't think America believes you either, and it's why a lot of Americans are sick, and it's, by the way, why a lot of Americans like President Trump, because he didn't play that particular game of just, promises that were never fulfilled, chasing political narratives just for the advantage of getting reelected and all that sort of stuff. But really long in this segment. That's why it helps to have Oz around. But quick time out. Next segment's going to be short, so forgive me in advance. But sit tight. Listen to Conservative Not Better Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, Care to Change, and Interior Construction Services by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Were you surprised by your tax return last year? Did you get a large refund, or worse, did you have to pay more than you thought to the IRS? Or maybe you just got a new job, had a baby, or are going into retirement. Why wait for another tax surprise this year? Let Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group help you project your taxes for the year to save you the stress come tax time. 317-288-5260. Jody and his team will analyze your paychecks to see if you're withholding too much or too little and help make corrections to any W-4s. If you're the sole proprietor of a business, this is a great idea for you to prepare for your tax filing. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and their new location in Greenfield. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. And don't wait. The sooner you act, the more prepared you can be for any hidden tax surprises. That's 317-288-5260 or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com.
How would you like to get a $1,000 bonus after just 3 months on the job? Sound good? If so, Wallace Construction is ready to hire you today. They're a family-owned business with 45 years experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. Call 317-422-5356 to find out more about this $1,000 bonus opportunity. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356. Be sure to tell them Todd sent you.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Corin Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corin Homes, family owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
Welcome back, my friends. So I've been talking here. This is going to be a short segment of what's been going on in the White House and what's been going on in the Biden presidency. And we had a president that had been impeached twice, President Trump. And if President Trump had done this absolutely unequivocally, there would be a third impeachment trial. The articles, they would have, put on the solemn faces. Adam Schiff looking like he's carrying a casket from the House of Representatives to the Senate. Nancy Pelosi would be telling us about how much she'd been praying for President Trump. All this sort of stuff would be happening again. You know it. I know it. And when you factor in some of these other things, and before I forget, I told you I would double check this during the break, 2 breaks ago. JustTheNews.com, I'd mentioned that there had been one of the things that Democrats, I think, fear are the tightening up of elections. And I said that absentee ballots in DeKalb County, Georgia, that 70% of them violated chain of custody requirements. I didn't know if it was 70 or 78%, but it's more than 70%, 70% of the ballots that were in one county, DeKalb County, violated in 2020, the chain of custody ballots. Anyway, just wanted to make sure that we went back and covered that. But when you factor in other things as well, for example, that listen to this headline in the Washington Free Beacon, freebeacon.com. Headline, Biden waived congressional mandate for report on Afghanistan withdrawal risks. So basically, really quickly here, it says that Biden waived a mandate in June that would have forced the Pentagon to provide a detailed report to Congress about the risks of leaving Afghanistan. Under the federal statute, the administration was barred from reducing troops in Afghanistan below 2,000 without first briefing Congress about the expected impact on U.S. counterterrorism operations and the risk to American personnel. Biden waived the mandate in June, arguing that providing this information to Congress could undermine the national security interests of the United States. You've got to be kidding me. You know what undermines the national security interests of the United States? President Biden. That's what's undermining the national security interests of the United States today. The radical left running this country. You got to be kidding me. So when you factor this into the equation, he waived, I don't even know, can you do this? I don't know. It's a federal statute that was passed by Congress. They said, hey, if you're going to drop troops below 2,000, we want a full report before this, this body, this elected body, or at least one of the committees and in charge of these things. And we want to know what's going on. We want to know the risks. No, Biden waived it. And for all I don't know if again, who knows? If he has that power, maybe Nancy Pelosi okayed it. I don't know. I just know that was done. That step was skipped. And look at the results. Now, I'm not saying that the Democratic Congress would have done anything differently to prevent this hellhole from creating, magnifying or being created in Afghanistan or whatever. But that step was skipped. So we've got a call to the Afghani president that all Biden is focused on is political optics. We've got Biden, putting a waiver on requirements for the Pentagon to make a presentation to the Congress. We've got Biden's speech the other day telling us how wonderful this was, how amazing they are in getting all these people out. Of course, they're the ones that put them there in the first place. I mean, we have an absolutely ridiculous, unmitigated disaster. We got Republicans, by the way, saying they're going to hold him accountable. To that, I say, prove it, put up or shut up. And we've got a poll out, which we'll talk about after the break. WashingtonExaminer.com. Resign now. 52% want Biden out, but fear worse under Harris. 52% of Americans want Biden to resign over Afghanistan, the situation there alone. So we'll talk about that after the break. Sit tight. Back in a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Are you looking for reliable advice on real estate investing? Then you should start listening to the Homeboys. Clint and Scott have over 40 years of real estate investing experience that they use to educate and guide their listeners. Listen and learn from their experiences to maximize your real estate investment strategy. You can find the Homeboys podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watch them on YouTube. That's the Homeboys podcast. They can show you how to get started and reach your real estate investment goals.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Flooded basement, failed sump pump. Water damage happens fast this time of year. For 38 years now, Hayes & Sons has been restoring water damage in Indiana homes and businesses. They'll help you navigate your insurance claim and get your life back on track. So when a water disaster strikes, tell your insurance agent you want Hayes & Sons for your restoration work. Visit hayesandsons.com/Todd for more information.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Welcome back, my friends. Program brought to you in part by Intrepid Financial, intrepidfinancial.com. Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid is always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. They've been helping Hoosiers since 1998. Very good year indeed. Family owned and operated, intrepidfinancial.com. They've got a great phone number too, 317-818-1776. 317-818-1776. Be sure to tell them you heard about them here on the Todd Huff Show. So, look, not a lot of time here, and this is, again, you are paying the price the price for Oz still not being able to be down here to throw stuff at me when I run long in segments. But I mentioned here in the waning moments that 52%, according to a Washington Examiner article, 52%, this is a Rasmussen Reports survey, 52% want Biden, of Americans, want Biden to resign over the Afghanistan withdrawal alone. Just 39% disagrees with that. 39% said that they don't want Biden to resign. 52% say they do. What's that bring us to? 81%? Is that right? No, 91%. Sorry. 91% of Americans have said they either wanted to resign or not. So there's another 9% out there that maybe they're asking who Biden is. I don't even know anymore. But 52% want Biden to resign over Afghanistan alone. This is, folks, this is serious. Americans know it. We're 7.5 months in. Dumpster fires have been created all over the planet now by these radicals. And, of course, Trump's blamed and everything else. I'm sure you and I, talk radio will probably be blamed here in the next couple of hours or days or whatever, too. But anyway, got to take a break. What a mess. Back in just a minute.
Stay on top of the nonsense our colleges are subjecting students to today by listening to Todd's monthly interview series with Matt Lamb, assistant editor of The College Fix. Listen at toddhuffshow.com/college. Brought to you by Apprentice University. We understand how overwhelming it is for students to make life-altering decisions. We help you guide along the curvy pathway toward reaching your goals. You'll gain professional skills and learn to problem solve for your future career. Visit apprentice.university to learn more about this debt-free college, purposefully designed for your outstanding future.
If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, call my good friend Scott Veerkamp. Scott and his team have been helping people with their real estate needs since 1992, and he has sold literally thousands of homes for good families just like yours. For all your real estate needs, call Scott Veerkamp today at 317-979-4663. That's 979-HOME. I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy heating, air conditioning, and plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com.
Weddings, reunions, business, church, or family retreats, Indiana Paradise Retreat is a hidden gem located right here in central Indiana. With over 11,000 square feet, a theater, gym, sauna, hot tub, pool, stocked lakes, and even an on-site event hangar, we have just the place for your next event. Find us on Airbnb, VRBO, or just search for Indiana Paradise Retreat. We look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 down, $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Are you looking to purchase waterproof flooring for your home? Did you know it's as easy as typing rnrproducts.com/Todd in your search engine for a great deal on our core tech line? Since 1971, R&R Products has provided brand name products at an affordable price to the listening area. Call 317-745-5794 or go online to rnrproducts.com/Todd. R&R Products. We make your flooring experience easy and affordable.
Welcome back. So there we are. I mean, this is, I said I would, I don't have time to play Saki's response. She was asked, was the president in any way pushing a false narrative? Excuse me. Was President Biden pushing a false narrative in any way in that call? That, again, is the call where he allegedly, according to the transcript and so forth, according to Reuters, if we want to put our faith in these folks, but he allegedly told Ghani to, hey, focus on creating a different perception or a different picture here. And she says this. She says, I'm not going to go into details of a private conversation. I'm not going to go into details of a private conversation, but what we saw over the course of the last few months was a collapse of in leadership, and that was happening even before Ghani left the country. A collapse in leadership indeed. Pot meet kettle, because we have an absolute collapse in leadership here in this country as well. Of course, it's been happening for some time, and Biden's never been ready to lead, but here we are. I've got to go. Folks, thanks for listening. Have a great day. SDG. See you tomorrow. Take care.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? There is a cure. With the Pro-Life Health Plan, your savings could be as much as 60%. The Pro-Life Health Plan allows you to enjoy the freedom of choosing any doctor, any hospital, anywhere. And their enrollment is open year-round. Just give Eric a call at 888-448-5370 or visit them online at isellhealth.com. Better coverage at a better cost.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.